What is seeing? Is it merely light hitting the back of the eye? Is it passively glancing at the objects surrounding you? Or is it something more? Is seeing really the same as noticing? Do we see things every day and not really notice them? Do we notice things that others may not? Elkins discusses this idea in Chapter 2 when he cites Carlo Ginzburg. Ginzburg connects prehistoric habits of close observation and asks whether we've lost our sense of close observation due to technology and modernization. Our sight is rooted in our experiences and interests, making each individual's visual perception unique from the next. To find out what it is that people see that others may not, Chris and I spoke with some Villanova students who look at the world from an original perspective.
Okay, Greg Solano, what is something that you see in everyday life that you think others might not pick up on?
The kind of cell phone that everybody carries around.
Okay, and why is that?
Because I love technology and I read up on it all the time. So I pretty much just like looking at people's cell phones.
Okay, and why do you think other people don't pick up on that?
Just the lack of, I guess the amount they care about technology isn't as high as like something I would care about.
All right, perfect. People might overlook.
I see what kind of shoes people are wearing, from brands to types of shoes that they wear.
Okay, and why is that?
Mainly because I keep up with style, and I think that shoes tell a lot about a person. I think if you wear sandals a lot, you're kind of more open person. You wear, the athletic sneakers, you're an athletic person, you're an athlete. If you're constantly changing what kind of shoes that you wear, keeping up with the trends, you're probably a stylish person. So I think, it tells a lot about somebody.
So you keep up with the trends?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. And why do you think other people don't pick up on that?
I think people do pick up on it, but not in the same way that I pick up on it. I think people, they'll notice, shoes, and they're always wearing sneakers, but I'll notice, they're Nikes, what kind of sneakers, they're Air Maxes, whatever, or they're rainbow flip-flops or something. And I think that it's very indicative of who a person is.
All right. Okay, Ashley Nussbaum, what is something that you see in everyday life that other people might not pick up on?
I notice socks, specifically mid-calf socks.
Okay, why is that?
I really like calves. Like, a nice set of calves is a very good turn on. Can I say that in your documentary?
It's fine. And the socks accentuate the calves, I guess?
A nice pair of Nike dry fits, preferably black.
Like the ones you have now?
Preferably black.
Okay.
Make a calf look like perfect.
Okay, and why don't you think other people see this too?
It's a little weird.
A little weird.
A little weird, but maybe they don't like calves as much as I do.
Okay. Laura Berger, what is something that you see in everyday life that other people might not notice?
I really notice belts.
Belts.
People wear belts, yeah.
And why is that?
I really think it accentuates an outfit, it makes an outfit pop. So for me, it just my attention.
So like the kind of belts, the color, the type?
All of the above.
All the above.
Yep.
Okay, and why don't you think other people notice this as much?
Not that many people wear belts, and I have a very eclectic collection. So I think because of that, I notice it more so than others.
All right, very nice. Andrew Dahman, what is something that you see in everyday life that you think other people don't notice?
I think like the answers to just like everyday questions that you have. Like if you get into like a debate with one of your friends about what actor starred in what movie, like 20 years ago, like you have to go find an encyclopedia at the library. Like nobody's gonna do that. Like you're never gonna like find out the answer to that question. You're gonna remember it or you're never gonna know. Like today you can whip out your phone, go to IMDb, like find out the answer to your question. It's just like there's so much information like right there. Like you never have to like be in doubt about like a fact anymore. It's all right at your fingertips.
And why is that specific to you? Why do you pick up on that?
I'm actually a computer science major, so like the technology, like I see like sort of how it's made, and just like how important it can be to everyday life, even though like you don't think about it. Like you take it for granted that you can Google and answer a question, but before Google, what do you do to answer a question? You don't do anything. Like, you don't know.
That's true. That's a good point. And why don't you think other people appreciate this as much as you?
I think they do appreciate it, like if they thought about it, but you don't take the time to realize like how much easier life has been now that you have all these answers right there. Like if you stop to think about it, you wouldn't take it for granted. So I think that's really the difference between why some people don't appreciate it and I do.
Good answer. All right, thanks. All right, Dan Cicetta, what is something that you notice in everyday life that other people might not pick up on?
Probably the way people cook my food or prepare my food.
Okay, and why is that?
Well, during the summer I worked as a grill cook for a local market, and kind of like the ins and outs of how to cook food and how people make food and what kind of food I should order or not order at other restaurants. So.
Okay, and why don't you think other people pick up on that too?
Because they tend to trust people who make their food, or they just tend to just order food, whatever they want. Like I can go to a restaurant and know I'm not going to order this because I don't trust what they would do with this certain product or food.
All right, thank you. Okay, Joe Kelly, first and foremost, I want to thank you for dressing up.
Anytime, Chris. Anything for you.
So what is something that you see in everyday life that other people might not notice?
For me, it would probably be the subtleties of a person's personality. Most specifically, the way that they carry themselves in public when they think nobody's looking.
Okay, and why is that?
Well, you can really learn a lot about a person when you look at them when they think that nobody else is scrutinizing them, nobody else is watching them, nobody else is judging them. So often, I think people try to change the way that they are to fit the needs of others and to fit into like a social segment. When you see a person walking by themselves, for example, through the quad, you see the way that they walk. Are they standing up straight? Are they hunched over? Are their eyes looking at the ground? Are they looking at people who pass by? Are they waving? Are they on their phone? Do they have headphones? These are all different things that I really do believe can help show what a person is really like. Show, characteristics like determination, confidence, self-assurance. They all shine through when a person is alone. They're not playing off anybody else. You're getting them for what they are.
Wow, okay. And why don't you think that is as important for other people?
Well, I personally, being it's just me, I can't know whether or not other people do look at these things. But in the large scheme of things, I do believe that most people tend to look over the minute details in life. So many of the minute details, I do believe, have been lost as technology has grown. So for that reason, I think people tend to look at the big picture instead of just the little things. And I think it is through the little things that you can really unlock what a person is like. So I do hope that more people start to look at this stuff, and I hope that people do. But from where I'm sitting right now, I'd imagine that is the minority.
All right, that's pretty deep, that's profound. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Elkins tells us what sees is the mind, the person connected to the eye, but the eye itself is just tissue. Now the minds of the students presented here see in a way that others cannot. Each student was drawn to something that specifically interested him or her. This concept of not always noticing the things we see is reflected in Elkins' realization of his double blindness. He states, "I didn't notice that I didn't notice. I was trapped in a double blindness. Now, at least, I realize that there are things I have not seen." Elkins further explains that hunters are more attentive to the subtleties of the forest because they're trained to do so. Now, there are certain objects that each of us are uniquely attracted to, and it begs the question, what is it that you see?